Hi, welcome to a special Raw Ramblings. We're going to get this one out very quickly because I've just finished the Paris show of Raw, and I have to say this is one of their best shows in a very long time. It had all the moments that we were all looking for, along with some excellent matches, some further storytelling, and some building of some new areas which I think definitely need or warrant some exploring. So let's get into the start of it. CM Punk spent most of the night waiting for Seth Rollins to come out. He was seen interacting several times. This included an interaction with Rhea Ripley, which I will come on to later because of the importance of it. Jey Uso then came out and didn't do any of his yeets this week. He obviously was banged up after the Fatal 4-Way, and he was interrupted by L.A. Knight. First things first, they've both got very good chemistry, and they're very good on the mic. So the interaction went really well. But Bronson, Reed, and Bron Breakker came out to interrupt them to set up a match later on in the evening. This works because Bron and Reed really need to start getting involved in matches, but it also brings Jey and LA Knight into the fold. They need to be made relevant consistently, and this was a great opportunity to do this. This is followed up by the Kabuki Warriors, my favourite people at the moment. They are absolutely must-watch television. And before they had an interaction with Io Sky, where Asuka said she was going to take care of the Judgment Day for Io. Surprise, surprise, the Judgment Day won. Moves such as Kairi's insane elbow to Raquel Rodriguez on the outside, and Roxanne Perez tapping out to the Oscar lock. We haven't seen that move for a while, so it was really good to see that. But throughout the evening, Asuka showed her dominant personality, which tells me that this is going to be a great story. She's definitely turning heel. That it's there's breadcrumbs, you can follow it all the way through. The question is Kairi going to turn heel with her as well? For me, that's a yes, it needs to happen, but I think we'll see where that goes. This was followed by the big announcement. At WrestlePalooza, we're going to get Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. This is a match on the two times that they've attempted to run it through have been top caliber matches. I can't wait for this match. I'm just worried about the interference angle, and I do believe Stephanie needs to win that belt. So let's see where we go from there. This was followed by an amazing match between Dragon Lee and Finn Balor. Finn's working his backside off right now, and Dragon Lee looks amazing. I would say if you've got 12 minutes or so, watch this match, but if you've got 2.5 hours, just watch the show. It's very little fluff in it. It is really quite good. But the match was really solid, and Finn got a victory, which surprised me, bearing in mind Dragon Lee beat JD Madonna last week, and I thought that would continue. So I feel sorry for Dragon Lee. I think there's a bit of 50-50 booking for him, but let's see where we go with that one. Dom and Finn then continued almost to fall out, as Dominic was told that both Finn and JD were banned from ringside for his Intercontinental match, and Finn was smiling throughout this. So we're definitely going to get this match. If they're finally going to do it, and I'll give this later, this match needs to have something on the line, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. Again, Asuka continued to go through this show, definitely telling Kairi what she needs to do, told a lot of people they need to stay out of the business. Io doesn't need any other friends other than Kabuki Warriors, so we're going to go with this one. We then had the Penta War Raiders versus the New Day and Big G um, in a 6-man tag. Match was good quality. It's the kind of thing I would expect from these 6 guys. Highlights being Penta's monkey flip into a DDT, and he's almost using Ivar as a standing point to hit a Mexican Destroyer for the win. This is good. Penta's continuing to be shown, so we like that. So let's keep going with this one. Then came out probably the most surreal moment of the evening, and AJ Styles pops out to the ring. And I was watching this, so I didn't have any adverts, and I watched the whole of the advert bit. AJ Styles comes out, the crowd starts chanting. Now I expected Dominic to come out at some point, and we go to that point. He doesn't. In fact, the crowd continued to chant all the way through the advert, all the way to the other side. We're looking at a good 5 minutes worth of chanting. If you have any worries about it, AJ is over like Rover in Paris. A definite. The match itself was fantastic. This is probably the match I would get you to watch. If you're not going to watch the Finn, definitely watch this one. And again, worth a warrant because of AJ was just so good. He gave Dominic a lot. Dominic is really coming into his own as well as an individual star, so let's keep going with this one. We had both kickouts of a Frog Splash and a Styles Clash, but thanks to El Grande Americano, Dominic was able to retain the title. Now, I thought this was a mistake. I thought we capitalised on the AJ thing, but maybe there's a future story. Maybe we're going to get a Grande Americano AJ Styles feud, which would benefit, I think. Then came into the talking point. Well, one of the talking points. And CM Punk and Becky Lynch. CM Punk tries to call out Seth Rollins, and Becky Lynch comes out. And they get into such a heated conversation. Again, go on the WWE socials, watch this promo. It is fire. There is great moments. Becky, who I was really worried would struggle to be a heel, has done it. This is it. She is such a dastardly heel. It works. So for me, great work. Well done, Becky. In the end, AJ Lee's name's mentioned several times. So if WWE are going to pivot and do this, then maybe this is where they need to go. Seth comes out, stays on the ramp, and then it kind of ends, but it doesn't. With Punk then trying to get out of the ring. When he can't, Becky then paintbrushes him, like absolutely goes at him, and you can see Punk is annoyed. So this for me means we've got to be leading to a mixed tag match. Now, I know there's a lot of rumours about AJ Lee coming back, and if it is, great, excellent, I think that really works. However, if they do need to pivot, Rhea Ripley is probably the next best thing. The connection they had with the series, this will definitely work for me. After this, Punk then turned around and said he was going to be on SmackDown. So let's see where this goes. We then had a main event, and this was Bron and Reed versus Jay and LA Knight. A solid main event tag match with people that don't know each other. I've said for weeks that Bron and Reed probably need to win the tag team belts just to try and give it some legitimacy. Raw's tag team division has been poor for too long. So let's get that going. The match goes backwards and forwards, and the Bron Breakker spears Jey Uso for the victory. There was a lot of going on. It made sense at the time. They then do a beatdown on both LA Knight and Jey Uso. and both took really heavy spears. Bronson Reed then does a tsunami and he's about to do the second one when Jimmy Uso's music happens. And this is the second talking point of Raw. He comes out with a chair and he scares Bron and Reed away. This is the first time they've been intimidated. And again, they mentioned in the promo at the beginning of the night, they've been unleashed without any Paul Heyman. So maybe they are starting to separate a little bit from Seth. But are we going to see the Usos reuniting against this tag team? There is a big part of me that hopes so. Let's do something with them. Let's build a great story. Okay, I've been Tim, and you've been listening to the Unfiltered Wrestling Podcast. Please feel free to subscribe, make your comments, and we'll go on through this for next week. Lee and I have got something coming up for you during the week, so watch out. This could be interesting.